Hey guys, this is Papa. Ian and Corey and Lena, just want to let you know where I am. Grammy and I came to the beach up in Apalachicola, and this is our beach up in Apalachicola. And you can see that we have waves here just like you have down where we were before. They're not very big, and when you see them kind of turning white on the top, we call that cresting. So the waves are cresting as they come in. And up here the waves are not very strong. Notice how the waves come in right to the shoreline. And remember, God determined that the sea wouldn't go beyond a certain line. So here it is, the shoreline. And as you come along the shoreline, you'll notice there are some little shells and that kind of thing. You come up onto the sand, and right up here is the high tide line. This as far as the water came in to the high tide, and notice the water always brings a lot of shells with it. Now these are shells of things that have died in the ocean or in the Gulf, and they've left their shell behind, kind of like a skeleton. And as you move farther up the beach, of course you're on sand, and sometimes you'll see a little hole like this where a crab lives. Now this beach you're allowed to drive on, so you'll see tire tracks. And as we get up further, I want to show you something that we didn't see when we were at the beach back there. Oh, this must be a pretty big crab here. Look at that hole. Wow. But up here you'll see some stakes and what looks like a little fence. And this is to mark off where a sea turtle laid its eggs. Sea turtles live in the water almost all the time. But after they get just so old, then they start coming up on shore once a year to lay eggs. And since sea turtles are becoming more rare, we want to be sure and protect them. So the eggs are right there under that little area in that little tiny fence in the middle. So if you see something like this on the beach, you don't mess with it. You leave it alone, because one day little baby sea turtles will come up out of the ground there. The mama sea turtle digs a hole and lays 50 to 100 eggs in that hole, and then the sun keeps them warm over time, and they'll eventually hatch and come out as little sea turtles, and they'll go all the way back out to the water over there. Now, I also want to show you a couple things up here. You'll notice some more seashells, because once in a long while the water will get always up this high, all the way up this high. Now you'll notice there's some vines that come down off of this sand, and those vines have some little flowers on them. And then there's a little hill here, and on that hill we have these plants here. These are called sea oats, and they look a little like the kind of oats that you would grow to eat. These are sea oats. Sea oats are very important. We want to be careful with them, not to ever mess with them, because you'll notice that hill. Well, the sea oats actually cause the hill to be. When the wind is blowing and sand is moving along on the beach, it'll kind of bump against these sea oats and fall down, and over a long time it forms a hill, which is called a sand dune. So this is a small sand dune, and there's a bigger sand dune up there. And the sand dune protects all the things behind it. So God uses these vines to start the sand dunes and to hold the sand together out here. But He uses mostly these sea oats, and then some other kinds of plants as you get further up. And you notice behind the sand dune, it's mostly pine trees that are growing. Pine trees can grow fairly close to salt water. Now this is salt water in the Gulf, and you find it doesn't taste very good. You don't want to drink the salt water because it does bad things to you. But this is our beach up in Apalachicola, and I thought you'd like to see where Grammy and I go to the beach in Apalachicola, and I thought you'd like to see where the sea turtle laid its eggs, and see the surf and the waves that are cresting, and all the sand and the crabs and the sand dunes and those kind of things. Well, it's good to get to talk to you. And Lena, we hope to get to see you again before too long. And Ian and Corey, it's always good to see you guys. Hope you're having a good day. Talk to you soon. Hey guys, there was one other thing I wanted to show you, because I happened to see it on my way back to where the chair was. See that bird right there? That bird's a sandpiper. Sandpipers walk along the shore and they poke in there in the sand to get little bugs and things like sand fleas. Remember the little things that you helped Uncle Phil to dig up in the sand? The sand fleas? So they eat things like sand fleas and they poke their bill down into the sand to get the sand fleas. Can't see it very close. I'm going to see how close we can get. Probably won't let us get real close. And then way out there in the water there's a pelican. Let's see how close you can get. Well, there we go. Flying away. Okay. Well, we'll talk to you again later.